Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the District's Board of Directors to be held at 105 Port Road, Port Isabel, Texas on May 27, 2026 at the hour of 5:30 p.m. for the consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice is posted at the office of the district on May 22nd, 2026 at 9 a.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, not less than 3 business days prior to the time of said meeting. Item number 1, call the meeting to order. We have a quorum, myself, Mr. Starkey, Mr. Bowder. Thank you for rising for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all your blessings. Keep us mindful of our responsibility to serve our community with integrity and compassion. Grant us wisdom and clarity as we consider each item on today's agenda. Reveal areas of concern and guide us towards the best solution for those we serve. Lord, you know the drought that continues to affect our land. We thank you for the recent rains, and we humbly ask for your continued blessings to replenish our reservoirs and sustain our communities. We ask this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ed. Invitation to the audience for a comment.
I do have a quick comment. Jared Cespedes, he's part of the IT team. He has recently been certified for drone pilot. So we want to congratulate him and
Cool.
appreciate what he does.
Good drone work. Well done. Hearing none other, item 4, consider and discuss for possible approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held on April 22nd, 2026.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Mr. Starkey, second by Mr. Bowder. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 5, General Manager's Report.
Yes, sir. Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the board, the reservoir levels as of this afternoon, we're at 26.5. They are up because of the recent rains from 25.9. So hopefully it continues to come down in the right places.
Good, thank you.
And then the next bullet here is mandatory cybersecurity training. So our IT manager, Brandon, is going to provide us some information after July 4th for our annual cybersecurity training. And the reason we mention that is because this year board members are required to do the said training.
Sweet.
So he'll provide us with the information required when the time comes.
All right.
I'm
Great.
good in August.
Thank you.
The next bullet, next board meeting, June 10th. Just wanted to advise the board and if there's any heads up already as far as attendance goes.
When do we have our meetings?
Every second and
and
fourth
fourth.
Wednesday.
Second and fourth Wednesday of every month. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
That's new, as of 8 years ago.
Wow. Indeed. Okay, great. Yep.
I'm good for the
10th
10th.
works for me.
I'm good on
The
10th.
24th I'll be out.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good on 10th and 24th. I'm out all July.
I would have dressed up if I knew I was getting a picture. This is my
We're getting
most casual
pictures?
meeting
Oh
ever.
my goodness.
And that wraps up the general manager.
Well done.
Outstanding.
Superintendent's report, item 6.
Mr. Chairman, board members,
Howdy.
real quick, on the distribution side, the service orders increased by 126. As you can see, water taps 27, which that's the money-making, generating work that we do. The other one is turn on service and change out of meters. We continue to struggle with some of these meters, but we're getting a handle on it the best we can. Okay, on the collection side, we had an increase of 31, more so doing the sewer tap. As you recall, our collection department was busy with repairs, so they're finally being able to catch up to the collection part on doing the sewer tap. On the grease trap lift stations, they've been cleaning out some pumps with rag and continue to have that problem in some areas. So you guys are staying on top of it, so we're doing a real good job of just making sure that we don't have any other issues with that. Okay? Any questions on the report, gentlemen?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna jump over to Laguna and Gulf Boulevard project on this asphalt repairs that we did. Just real quick, just wanna mention on the savings that we had talked about. Had we gone with the, preferred, contractor, we're looking at about 80,500. With us doing our due diligence, we had it done for 23,000 más o menos, for a savings of $57,419.
Great.
Alright, so that's Enrique and the other, employee doing their due diligence and looking for the savings, okay? The next bullet, we're talking about, South Padre Island is doing some work on the island, on Constellation, East Gardenia, and the West Georgia Ruth area. They're doing sidewalks, I believe, storm drain, and winding up the street. We do have some conflicts in those areas, so we're working with the contractor to make sure that if there's damages, we help with the repair in the sense by providing parts. We are charging for the parts, we're not giving them out, and we're making sure that the repairs are done correctly and properly as they should be. All right, just to expedite any kind of repairs in downtown. Okay? Any questions, gentlemen? All right, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next item, engineer's report.
Alright, the first item is the Isla del Padre subdivision. It's, I guess they're gonna plan to build a brewery on the island, and there's some services where the meters on the adjacent lot, have their services running across their property. So, we went ahead and requested an easement, which they signed off on. So, we just got it recorded, just to preserve those services that run across the property.
It's about mine. Nice.
So,
How big's that place gonna be?
Big.
oh, okay.
Who said big?
$3 million bucks.
They're awesome. They're
Yeah.
the ones that bought my house.
Alright,
people.
oh, nice, yeah,
Yeah.
Charles,
Charles is a great guy,
yeah.
great guy.
Yeah,
Great family. I'm excited for him. I mean, I don't drink, but I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, that's, he stopped by, was very friendly and
They're awesome.
helpful with getting this done. So,
Any action there, we're good?
no, we're good.
Okay.
It's just, since, they granted the ownership and we recorded it,
Wonderful.
so that's all that happened there.
Good, next.
Yeah, the next one, we got, water plant construction status. We do have, Ferguson has gotten the water plant construction to where, we are at the point of commissioning. I'd say we're more at the point of week 2, out of a 12-week, period for commissioning the microfiltration. So, I mean, at this point, we're looking at having that portion of work done August 7th, which is followed by performance acceptance testing, will be 5 weeks, more or less in September. So final acceptance of the water plant 1, with, using the river water is September 25th. I mean, that's pretty much where we're sitting right now, water plant 1. And so, the way that part ties into, there is, I guess there is a warranty, condition, because since we have been sitting on the equipment that we've received for more than 18 months, I mean, the warranty has expired on it, and they are, as they're doing the commissioning, there are some small parts that might be some cost adders, so we may have to address that as an offset cost against the contractor. Those kind of details is something that, well, we have to be seeing what turns up during commissioning. But that's, it seems to all be within reason to get this thing working up by the end of the summer. So I guess the other part of that is our pilot plant operations. We just finished, we're in the middle of the stage 3, like cleaning place for the flux at 55. And from what I'm hearing, we're looking at trying a higher flux of 64, with, I guess, starting up here shortly, which is just gonna essentially be demonstrating the pilot can run at the same flux that we're already running with our MF plants here at the water plant. So, it just shows that we'll get more bang for our buck on those membranes that we can demonstrate through the piloting process.
Good.
And so I guess the other part of it is, with this commissioning, probably the earliest we'll be able to get settled water produced is the end of June, or probably more like July. And so what we need to do in part of that pilot is demonstrate that blended flow. So that's gonna be challenges that we're working with TCEQ to try to make sure we capture that and make sure that's part of the pilot report. So that's kind of how those two are intertwined at this stage.
And as we have the information, we'll provide it to you. But I guess there's potential to maybe extend the pilot that's a possibility, but, it's not determined at this point.
Yeah, so I guess that concludes the seawater pilot plant construction. The next item here, just Isla Blanca wastewater treatment plant. We did have the 100% plans, they're on the shelf, TCQ approved them for construction. So at this stage, they're just pending funding. We do have that financial application under review on the current intended use plan for clean water, so we'll see as we get invitations for that project, whether or not we want to proceed. I mean, the current construction contract for the essentials, which is the storm drain to prevent flooding, the return activated sludge pumps, efficiency, and clarifier 3, which is currently essentially a holding tank. We need to get all the mechanics rebuilt. For those 3 items, we're talking about, 4.4 million construction cost that we need to start thinking about how to cover that kind of expense. So that's where we're at, in terms of the most critical parts of Isla Blanca as a whole. That's, I guess unless there's any other questions on that. With Long Island Village, I guess, on that one, we're still just trying to get that wet well installed for the master lift station. That bore that was put under the sewer, the bridges, we gotta locate where we're gonna drop the manhole, get it tied in to the wet well, those kind of details. With this rain event today, we had to go in there and still deal with it. Sewer overflows, resolve the backups, so working with Long Island Village to just coordinate that kind of work. And then the other part of this is gonna be scallop for the sea cottages. There's a lot of water lines in the back of the properties that were valve split the 2 properties, so there may be more work than what's in the current plan as far as how to get the water services resolved on Scallop and get each site metered. So we're continuing to troubleshoot that spot and come up with a plan. But that's where we're at with that part of the job.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, exactly. That concludes the engineering report.
Thank you. You have anything to add on that? No?
Long Island Village? No.
Anything?
It's, the weather has definitely affected, the turnout, delays. The one thing that I will mention is that part on Scallop, it's gonna probably bring in some change orders, but they are gonna be, or it could, right? But, for the most part, we should have the funds, according to preliminary numbers, right? Until we not, really tie that down, we'll know for sure, but, we'll bring that once we have it.
Okay, good, thanks, gentlemen. Item 8, Director of Finance.
3 pages of.
Just want to give the board an update on our progress. We've been undergoing a software upgrade from Encode version 9 to Encode version 10. It is a significant upgrade. The software is all basically rewritten in a new software language. We went live last month in for finance, for HR, for purchasing, and inventory. And this month we just went live last week with the utility billing and customer service. We did send out new bills with the totally new look. That went out to cycle 1, which was Laguna Vista, Laguna Heights area. You may have noticed that if you saw your bills, they have a new look to them. Also, we are working on the cycle 2 as we speak. Those will be going out tomorrow.
Eddie, do we pay for postage for everyone we send out?
We do.
Why do we not offer paperless delivery?
We do, and many of our customers take advantage of that. Yes.
Do they? I didn't know we do. How many customers do we have that are on auto pay? Guess a percentage.
I would guess nearly 40% of our customers.
And how many do you think are paperless?
I would say maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 30%.
Yeah, I would push for the paperless. I didn't know you could have paperless delivery. Maybe there's a little insert you could put. It's gonna save us on stamps, which adds up when you have as many people as we have. My only other comment on that is The new bill looked great. It looked too great to me because we're doing like color printing. What's our increased cost on that? And do you guys really think that's worth it?
Yeah.
I would relook at it, because I mean, I know in my office, black printing versus color printing is a significant upgrade, and if we're talking about
Multipliers of thousands.
thousands times 12 times a year, like, that's not an insignificant cost.
Right, and that's something that we're working through. We're already starting discussion internally, with regard to that, with paperless billing and stuff like that. However, it's too soon to actually begin to transition and push that out. What we wanna do and our intent is to fully be on Encode 10 without any hiccup, without, everything spread away, and then we'll figure out all these things. We're
Understood.
working with everybody here, including IT as well, to.
Yeah, it's a lot when you do an upgrade, I just did it in my office this week, and my IT girl had a heart attack 6 times, so, but look at that as we get there, please, especially the color printing, which I thought was pretty, but I was skeptical on the cost. So, that said, ready for budget calendar?
Yes, I have a proposed budget calendar in your packet, under item 8. So this would keep us on track to adopt a budget by the first meeting of September, on September 9th. For the board, I would want to see if you are able to put this on your calendar. These are regular meeting dates for specifically for the budget workshop on July 22nd and another workshop on August 12th. These are regularly scheduled board meeting dates, so the plan is to have a workshop prior to the regularly scheduled meeting.
I'm fine with it. I know Mr. Starkey's gonna have trouble getting there, but if we can have 4 people there, myself, Scott, and Dave, then I'm okay with it.
And I can attend July 22nd, but I would not be in attendance at August 12th.
Okay.
Have a wedding at 6 o'clock on the 22nd, I can be there.
I can do the 22nd, but maybe we coordinate outside of this meeting to make sure that we don't have to push this agenda. We can just be flexible with our non-board meeting schedule to do any workshops needed in order to collaborate prior to the board meeting of approval or taking next steps.
Yes.
And then also, I would reiterate that we all reflect on what last year's budgets look like, specifically as it relates to personnel. And I know that we did a great job of figuring that out, but we were more reactive instead of proactive. So I just want to encourage all the managers in the room to be good stewards of their capital expenditures, what is needed in a proactive approach, not necessarily what is wanted. And then as we look at salary increases and all those things, just remember what we experienced last year and try to make sure that we don't do that again.
Yes, sir, and just to touch on that specific topic, when we do have this budget workshop, you'll hear of some of the adjustments that we've made, and you'll see where we've taken that into account.
Wonderful.
Great.
Great to hear.
Appreciate everybody having an actual budget calendar. First time, I think, that I've seen one, so good job, and I think it's nice to have a workshop before September 8th.
Yes.
This is how I feel like generally we would have done this in the past, so thanks for putting it all together. Look forward to it, makes sense to me. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Item 9, consider and discuss for possible ratification fee addendum on appraisal for Port Isabel San Benito Navigation District.
So we bring this back to the board to see appraisal. They increased the fee because there's certain, I guess it turned into 3 appraisals because of the separation of the properties. We've identified, not all of it is necessarily Port Isabel San Benito Navigation District. In between, there's Subsea 7, there's, I think it's the city of Port Isabel. So they increased the price by $3,500. We went ahead and signed it, sent it back to them to not create the delay, but we bring it for ratification because it did increase the total price.
So it requires action.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Starkey, second by Mr. Bowder. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 10, consider, can we turn the air off in the back? I'm getting frozen hands. Consider and discuss for possible approval of contract for water rights lease 1,000 acre feet of raw water from Hidalgo County Irrigation District.
Yes, sir.
That was a big one. I don't remember hearing about this before.
Right, so, we had mentioned that there could be a potential shortage in water rights. Last time we met, we discussed maybe 1,500 acre feet. I went back and, to 2023, looked at the, data that we have, and I have updated, our current, year. With the no charge water that we've received, we're looking at possibly right around 1,000 acre feet. Under the, understanding that from June to December, well, we don't know what the demand's gonna be, right? So all we can do is average, historical data. And in 2023, our biggest months are from June to August. In 2023, we used 706 acre feet, 2024, 445, 2025, 477. That averages out to about 550 more or less, just under. And then the rest of the year, it begins to slow down. But we did have last year, it kind of stayed consistent right around 550, more or less acre feet. So the average that I've used is right around 585 from June to December. And under the possibility that June to August could be a little bit over, but then September to December should slow down. But if we do keep at this pace, it reflects a shortage of 1,074.13 acre feet. And so we're bringing this to the board because we've reached out to Hidalgo County Irrigation District. We did reach out to East Rio Hondo. They gave us a higher price. This was what we found to be the cheapest, and it's a lease for 1 year. You're looking at $70,000.
Is it lease for 1 year or 6 months?
Well, 6 months, right? The remainder of the month, year. But the other one would have been at 75 acre feet, $75 per acre foot. And, you know, I don't know what we're gonna use. I'd just rather have the insurance than not have it and need it, right?
If we don't use it, we pay for it anyways?
We pay for it anyway. And those are the first water rights that we're gonna use. We pay for it, we use them, the full 1,000, and then we see where we end up as we begin to use the remainder of ours.
Okay, if you guys think we need it, then I think it's necessary, obviously, you don't run out of water.
We want to.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Motion approved.
Yep, a second.
Motion made by Mr. Starkey, seconded by Mr. Bowder, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 11, consider and discuss for possible approval of November 3rd, 2026 general election for Laguna Madre Water District Board of Directors membership to be administered by the Cameron County Elections Department. Basically,
We're going on election.
we're gonna have an election.
Yes, sir, we're gonna have an election. They are estimating, let's see. They are estimating the cost to be $23,530 with 10 cents. That could change. It could be less. Hopefully that's the case, but they are requesting a deposit of $14,118.06. And obviously, Dr. Alon and Mr. Starkey are up for election this week.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
If I may, not only to approve the contract, but the deposit amount, so that we can send out the check.
I'll make a motion to approve the deposit amount and the contract.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Bowder, seconded by Mr. Starkey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 12, consider and discuss for possible approval of budget amendment for unlimited tax bonds, Series 2022 Fund 3, is it Department 334? For elevated storage tank improvements.
Yeah, on this one, you know, we are pretty much the water plant one we're looking at final acceptance here in September. is the last, construction contract, aside from the engineering fees for this fund. And, essentially, we see the need for, the Wisacha tank being a full blast and repaint and quite extensive work that's needed to get that tank restored. And so the request here is, to allocate some of those, the use of surplus funds on that tax, to elevated storage tank. To basically use those funds, to restore the Wisacha tank, and so we don't take that hit against our operating fund. And so that's really what this proposal is for. If you look at the estimated construction cost, just kind of the high end for this full blast and repaint in the tank built with the coatings, like what we see here in Port Isabel that just got finished. And we do have a rough estimate of about $945,000. That includes, welding and a lot of the rust and corrosion repair on top of the layers of coatings with the current technology that's on the street right now. And so essentially at this point, we already have this subcontractor working on the tank here in Port Isabel, and we recommended to start work with him as well for tank number 3 in Wisacha. And so essentially this budget request would cover his contract for the front end on design, be about $40,000 this year, and then the construction phase for the next fiscal year.
To be clear, in addition to what Charles has mentioned, he will be the engineer on record, and this inspector is the subcontractor to.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? If not, need a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Starkey, second by Mr. Bowder, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 13, consider and discuss for possible approval of proposal from Boswell and Reyes International LLC for elevated storage tank 3, Wisacha Rehabilitation on South Padre Island.
Yeah, this is a proposal not to exceed amount. It's really establishing the budget for a worst case, worst contractor scenario. But the actual expenses would be the only portion that gets billed. So we recommend approval for the various parts of getting this tank done.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Starkey, second by Mr. Bowder, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 14, consider and discuss for possible approval, update to equal employment opportunities, section 102 of the personnel policy. Hello, ma'am.
Members of the board, we are requesting your approval for update Chapter 1, Section 102 of the Laguna Madre Water District Personnel Policies regarding an update on the equal employment opportunity. The revised policy includes the addition of 3 protected classes, which includes pregnancy, gender identity, and sexual orientation. And this is to ensure alignment with the federal law requirements and with our policies and procedures.
So this is aligned with the federal, you say?
That's correct.
So we're still in the gender identity and sexual orientation
Yes.
world? Thought we weren't. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Starkey, second by Mr. Bowder, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 15, consider and discuss for possible approval of updated 2026 hurricane preparedness operational plan.
Members of the board, as you might know, hurricane season is just around the corner, and we have worked, JP is our safety coordinator, along working with upper management to develop this 2026 hurricane preparedness operational plan. And it has been already completed, so you must have a copy on your area. And I'm gonna ask JP to go through the changes that were done this year that will benefit. Every year we're trying to do it better and better, so it can help us in any situation that we can, it can come up, and we wanna be as much ready as possible.
Good afternoon, Vice Chairman and members of the board. Just to highlight a few changes, I don't want to go page by page with the
Thank you.
plan. Section,
You got 3 minutes. Honestly.
you got a minute and a half. Section 1, under the business continuity organization on page 9, we just updated that to show the HR responsibilities that would be handled during an emergency. Section 4 includes the new water tower, Tower 6, that is located at Water Plant 1. Section 5 now includes the water storage updates with the generator capacities, with all the new updates that have happened, with the pump information. Section 6, along with the updated telephone contact information, we created a prioritized list of essential numbers for easier access during an emergency, to include things like TCEQ, not looking through a whole list, but just to make it easier to find. And then finally, the final change we want to highlight is under Section 7. It now contains a vehicle list broken down by departments to show where the units will be assigned, who will be driving it, and the location. That way, we would be able to report that to FEMA a lot easier, and during and after an event.
Thanks for updating. Yeah, much appreciated.
That cell phone I was given in my first term 7 years ago. Is it gonna turn on this summer if something happens, or?
Make sure the battery works.
I promise, I haven't used it for my, it's not
Got
even.
mine after the freeze.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, all right, cool, thank you. Is this an action item
It is.
Yes,
to accept?
yes.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Motion made to accept by Mr. Starkey, second by Mr. Bowder, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 16, consider and discuss for possible ratification of emergency purchase of Integrity 10-inch high-service pump from Pumps of Houston.
Members of the board, we place an emergency order for a 10-inch high-service pump for water plant number 2. We have 3 former quotes for, and Pump of Houston was the cheapest one. So we are asking the board to ratify payment in the amount of $22,450 for Pumps of Houston.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Bowder,
Second.
second by Mr. Starkey, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 17, consider and discuss for possible approval of monthly financial report for February 2026. Needs an acknowledgement. Mr. Bowder acknowledges.
I acknowledge.
Mr. Starkey acknowledges. I acknowledge. Item 18, consider and discuss for possible approval of the monthly financial report for March 2026. Needs an acknowledge.
I acknowledge.
Mr. Bowder, Starkey, and Lalonde all acknowledge. 19, consider and discuss for possible approval budget transfers.
So as we were going through the mid-year budget review, there was some transfers that we found to be necessary, primarily in 3 areas. One was group insurance. There was quite a few additions so after the budget process, after the budget is approved, we ask all of our employees to update their insurance coverage. That's where they can add or remove people, their dependents to the policy. This year we had quite a few adds, so that increased our cost for the group insurance. In addition to that, we have the $70,000 that we are allocating for the water rights purchase, and we also have the $53,000 that we are adding for Department 4, which is our collection department, major repairs. We had 2 big incidents, one in Laguna Vista at the Palm and Taylor, and then we had the one on South Padre Island on Laguna Boulevard. So where we are taking, we're adding to our budget the miscellaneous revenue, which was the $172,000 that we received from a buy board, which was an unexpected increase to our miscellaneous revenue. We want to add that to our revenue budget and offset it with these expenses budget to cover these expenses.
So how much money are you actually talking about here?
Looks like insurance went up 83 grand after all the additions and subtractions. But what I'm trying to get my mind around is the revenue miscellaneous, the 172,000 you're taking out of the miscellaneous?
We are adding that, formally adding it to our budget, and then we're adding to our expenses. So this is an amendment, we're adding to our annual budget that was approved. Prior.
I'm sorry, I answered his question, but was I off? It's about 83 grand.
In total, yes, we I believe it was 50,000, I think was what.
Which one are you talking about? The insurance?
Insurance.
Yeah, it was about
It was about 48, more or less, 50 tops, plus the 70 of water rights.
Yeah, because the total was 172, so we had 70,000, we had the 54,000, and so that's about 120, and so we're adding about another 50,000, approximately.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
motion made by Mr. Starkey, second by Mr. Bowder, all in favor? Aye, motion carries. Item 20, consider discuss for possible approval the quarterly investment report, quarter ending March 31st.
Just want to report the yield for the quarter was 3.25, bringing our fiscal year to date yield at 3.33, and total earnings for the quarter 930,579.
Is that all our real money?
So
We gotta
the
give some of
vast
that back.
majority of this is bond funds, so it is restricted only for the purpose of that those bonds were originally approved, and that's further restricted that we can only use up for up to what it costs us to borrow the money. Anything in excess will go back to the IRS.
Very good. Is this an acknowledgement or approval?
Yes, this is you can acknowledge this.
Acknowledged by Mr. Bowder.
I think it might be approval. This is line item number 20, consider discuss for possible approval of the quarterly investment.
Yeah, but it says the same for the financial monthly reports.
We good, Brian?
It's actually, things like this are
20's
just
approval or
acknowledged.
acknowledged?
We're not taking action, therefore it's only enough.
All right, I acknowledge.
Thanks for your
Then I'm wasting time.
point of order, Mr. Starkey. Acknowledged by Mr. Starkey, acknowledged by me. Last time I talked to ChatGPT about that, it only told me I needed to acknowledge. Consider and review expenditures from April 16th to May 15th. Acknowledged by Mr. Bowder.
Acknowledge.
Acknowledged and/or motioning to approve by Mr. Starkey. Acknowledged by Dr. Lalonde. Item number 22, is this?
Before we go into executive session on this,
Yeah,
my understanding of the topic is we're gonna be discussing this, and the general discussion about the RGV desalination plant should be an open session. If we get into something about a real property deal,
Okay.
or like a deliberation about, real property negotiations or something like that, that would be appropriate for executive. But I think we start with this in open session, and if we start getting into something that is about, well, we're gonna make this deal and with these terms and such and such, then we can go into executive.
okay, clear.
So we're
Item-
okay to do that even though it's listed under executive session?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how it's
Okay.
listed.
Yeah, item 22, discussion possible action concerning RGB desalinization on South Padre Island.
Okay. So, the parties concerned with RGB desalination, well, first of all, everybody's familiar with the RGB desalination project, right? They're north end of the island, 100 MGD plant, private investment. They reached out to us, and you stop me if I, right? They reached out to us about our easements, about certain, I guess, where our lines run from the south end of the island all the way to the north, and then in the bay. They want to offer us, well, they send somebody out, politician, to say that there's potential for revenue, in using our property, right? So, what does that mean? They're not sure. They're trying, I just got off the phone today with a gentleman saying that if we can come up with the best method to cross our, basically our CCN without saying CCN because our annexed areas, right? What's the best method, the best route to take, and they're willing to pay us for it. We just need to determine what that route is and how much we'd be willing to accept should the board agree to it. Now, our concern is, one, we don't actually own the property. We have easements, right? They're not our properties. It's, you know, it's TxDOT right away. It's whoever the landowner is, et cetera, right? You're talking about the GLO over here in the bay. We would need to, for one, have all the parties that are invested in this come and discuss, and if we're even allowed to use our easement in that fashion. Two, the GLO over here, I would imagine we would need to increase the size of our easement, and then now we're investing. We have, you know, environmental and everything else that comes with this type of project. And that's just to satisfy one request from them, which is to use our easements, right? The other one would be for them to tie into our infrastructure, blend with our product water, and figure out how to shoot it to the our neighboring entities that are willing to go into a contract with them to receive water. So those are the things that are in play now that I would like, you know, I know my stance, what my stance would be. I'm curious to know what your stance would be in all this. I would say we don't have the room to go with something like this, you know. We'd have to make an initial investment on our part, and then who knows, right? TxDOT, it's not gonna do, you know. I don't know how they're gonna react. My initial assumption is they might not wanna play as nice as some of the other people that may be involved.
Brian, in your experience, is there a precedent that's been set with anything that remotely looks like this?
Not in my experience.
Money aside, just like sharing an easement, opening up an easement for a private entity.
Sharing the water and stuff like that. I think it's.
Well, I hate the idea of sharing water. Like, I shouldn't say hate, shouldn't use that word, but I don't like the idea of them tying into our system. I think that complicates a plethora of things. So just to kind of show my cards, I'm not there. But easement, if there's space and all that, I mean, aside from whether we could lawfully even charge them for land that we only have easement that we don't technically own, that's our discussion. But
my insight, and it could be completely wrong because I'm not here on the everyday operations, is that I hear that when, you know, at the end of our system down at the north side of the island is where we get a lot of complaints about quality and pressure and whatnot, naturally. If there's something up there where they're building some giant water plant and they're flowing water back north to south, would that water be utilized by us for the properties up there?
In order to go into some sort of contract with them, first of all, their first and foremost proposal is for them to sell wholesale to us, right? What came up today is to try to blend it and push it out. Could we take advantage of it? We could, but we are building our own desalination
100
plant.
MGDs?
100 MGDs.
Yes.
And you have to consider what size line it would take to get that water from A to B. You know, without knowing that, I don't know that, right? But I would have to assume it's something big, and we don't have the space.
Would we
in our
be charging them for using our facilities?
Well, there's potential for that, right? And that's what they're kind of floating out to us.
So my take would be, they wanna build a facility that is 20 times larger than ours, with the potential to, I assume they wanna take that and sell it to these big, large corporations. And we're talking, if it's 20 times larger, 20 times bigger budget. They may be very willing to say, hey, we'll give away 5% of our water to this district for the ease of making sure we can make our big bucks for decades at a time. They might be open at 5%. Maybe we get a whole lot of free water, which I would be open to, and who wouldn't be? And let them do all the work, let them spend all the money, let them go talk to everybody that needs to be talked to, and if they can come back to us and be like, hey, we got TxDOT, these guys to approve, and we're gonna cut you in on 2.5 MGDs of water for the next 30 years, okay, cool, give it to us, we'll take it for free.
But I mean,
We're not gonna buy it, but we'll take it.
I think he's
Yeah,
or maybe my math is wrong. There are 100 MGDs, right?
That's what I was.
And ours is
told.
5,000 MGDs.
No,
Five
no,
MGDs.
five.
Huh?
We're 5.
MGD is million gallons.
They're 100,
All
we're
right.
5.
I knew my math was off.
They're 20 times bigger than us, and so we're a big player in this to them, and so they might be willing to
Forgive me.
get us some water. Like, yeah, if we don't have to do the work, like, you don't have time to go figure this all out, that's a
No.
full-time job. Maybe 3 people's full-time job to make that all work, but they got the money, so go ahead, and if they don't, okay, well then I guess sorry, we can't help you.
I just don't think it's that easy to share the easement with anybody, and especially with that size of line. We wouldn't wanna, give into that so easy. And I know it could be a potential revenue stream,
Yeah.
or if we get the free water, that's revenue for our district, right? But, there's a lot more, not that simple, right?
Yes, it's super
They just-
complicated, and I
they
let
just-
them do it.
They just presented to the, what was it? No, to the Senate, right?
Oh, yeah, they were, the expert witness at the Senate hearing, that we had mentioned.
To even try to expedite the ability to
Do
use.
this. I think it's time we go into executive to negotiate.
What's that?
I think it's time we go into executive
Okay,
session.
let's do that.
So I make a motion that we go into executive session to further discussions about negotiating with this private entity related to the topic today.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Sharkey, second by Mr. Bowder, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're in executive session. Great, we're out of executive session, motion carries, and
Sorry,
there's,
guys.
continue as we continue.
Well, let's get the recording.
Okay,
We can let everybody in already at this point.
Yeah.
we have to, or we just motion to leave executive session. When does, Reed talk?
It's going on right now, but it's fine. Mom's recording it.
Great.
So now we're in a quandary, right? Because we don't have a quorum.
Well, we don't
No,
have
you're
any
just not,
action.
you're not
we
taking
need
any
to
action.
Okay.
take, So, we're good anyways.
So there can't be a motion.
Okay, so, meeting is adjourned, I guess.
All right.
There's
Motion
no-
to adjourn, how we can't adjourn?
I didn't start, I didn't even open it.